People are so obsessed with getting rich young. It's so easy to fall into the trap of seeing these 23-year-old influencers driving around in a Lamborghini Urus, going on yachts, traveling all the time, living the lifestyle that every single person wants. But the truth is, most of these young people who made their money made it from you. People buying whatever they are selling. Most of these people just get good at social media, good at getting followers, and then they make some sort of product around their followers to sell them. And then they sell you the lifestyle. I know people like this. They get followers, they sell you on the dream lifestyle that they are living, or at least appear to be living. You are the one funding their yacht. You are the one funding their $30,000 per month Miami penthouse. You give $1,000 to this 22-year-old who promises you to live the lifestyle that they are living if you follow whatever is in their paid product. But I would ask you a question. Do you know a single 45-year-old person, or any person over the age of 40, who thought that they knew everything at the age of 25? No. In fact, every single person thought they were an idiot. They all thought they were idiots. So how do these young people speak with such certainty that they have the secret to getting rich young, or getting rich fast? Whatever it is, they don't. They sell you the lifestyle, they overpromise, and you are the person funding the exact lifestyle that you want to live. And I know this very, very well, because I do the same thing. I don't sell anyone else's product, but my job is to sell people's product online. I only work with old rich people who already have an established business that did it before they were on any social media or anything like that. I try and work with old successful people already. I will never ever take on a client who is just blatantly trying to scam someone into just making more money. I think it is very morally wrong from a deep internal level. But because I know all of these people, I have met or know of or have mutual friends as just about every single person on social media that you would know. And I'm not going to name any names, but I know this for a fact that they are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, not from the business that they say that they have, that they are promising you, but the business that they are selling you. They tell you that they are doing this, let's say making $100,000 doing something, and they're going to teach you the way that they did it. And maybe they were making $100,000 doing that, but the way that they make their money is from you, the consumer. There's now an epidemic of people just trying to grow social media because they see how easy it is to get rich. Every single person who blows up ends up driving a Lamborghini a few months later because people are throwing money at them. And there is ways to create a real business around this stuff. And that is what I help very successful people do. And I help them sell their products online, and I help them grow their YouTube and social medias. But it is, for me, a wildly different dynamic for these young people who promised the rich get rich. Here are the cryptos to buy. Here's how drop shipping is going to change your life. Here's how X, Y, and Z business is the new model that you need to follow. And the only way for you to be successful is if you buy my service or course. It's only going to cost you a few $1,000s, but it's going to change your life. And for some people, it will. And I've bought many courses in the past, and I've made a ton of money from them. But you need to know what they were doing with that, and who is the person that you are buying these quote unquote courses from. Like, if it is a 25-year-old kid, you don't have any life experience. You have max 5 to 10 years in business if you started when you were 15 years old. I mean, those are not the types of people that I hang out with that I consider to be super successful. All of my friends are 50 plus and have run, and most of them have sold, or are pretty much all my friends are retired and have run massively successful businesses. And all of them lost everything at some point. Every single super successful person that I've met has lost everything at some point. And they basically say that is the qualifications for them to know if someone's on the right trajectory. At what point do they lose everything? Because it happens. It happens to just about everybody. I don't actually know a super successful person who have not just about lost everything and then made it all back. But all of these 25-year-old kids, I mean, they're making so much money, but there is an epidemic of these online courses being created to sell it to you the viewer. How do you actually get rich? It's just not fast. And right now, I'm living the lifestyle as if I was making $500,000 per month, because most of the time I do fly private. I drive a car that is more expensive than my parents' house. And all of that for me is free because I've surrounded myself with people who are 100,000 times more successful than me. You learn from people who have really done it, and no 25-year-old has done it. A lot of people say, hey, Josh, I want to work for you or whatever. No, you don't. You want to work for a successful business owner. I have zero experience. I mean, I'm just starting out in business, and I'm making more money than I could have ever have dreamed of, but I don't have any real life experience. I mean, I'm only 21 years old. This is not the person that you want to be or take advice from. That it's so important who your teachers are. And when your teachers are 22-year-old kids online, and that's a dangerous game. I mean, you can learn things from everybody, but I don't know. I tend to resonate a lot more with the older, wealthier, successful people. They usually, I will just about always come at things with no ego. It's the complete opposite of young people. And that's why most young people lose everything, in my opinion, because your ego gets so high. You think the reason why you're making so much money is because you have Midas' touch, and anything you touch turns to gold. And for a while it does. But it's that same ego that gets you killed, or at least through very, very hard times, because it's tough to see when things are turning around, when your ego is the size of the moon. And Ken said that happened with him. George said that happened with him. Every person that makes a ton of money young, your ego just explodes. You think that you're on top of the moon. And so, I mean, my plan is still to make a lot of money when I'm young. I think that should be everyone's plan. I just think it is deceiving when you see these people online who are blatantly just doing some of the grimiest things alive. I mean, I want to call some of these people out, because there's one in particular who is just an absolute tool. He is an absolute tool. And online, he presents himself as this outer worldly person. And I guess if people are stupid enough to buy what he's selling, then they deserve to get scammed, because this guy's entire goal is just to make as much money off other people as humanly possible, knowing the product that he has is shit, knowing that his business is going to shit, but he's still promising people that he's making a bunch of money from it. I mean, it is some of the grimiest snake oil salesman activities that you could possibly do. And so just, I would say, trust your read of character at that point. If you think someone is blatantly just trying to get your money, guess what? They probably are. Someone like Ken, he actually doesn't really want your money. He wants to work with very select people. And I put myself in a similar category. I have unlimited demand for the work that I do, because all the older successful people that I've done this for, I've made a ridiculous amount of money, because we've been in a bull market in this stuff recently. So it has been very easy to make money. And so I have had quite literally probably 100 people ask me to work with them or take them on as a client. And I turn just about every single person down, because I'm looking for a hyper specific avatar. And your reputation is so important. I'll use an example from today. There is this business that me and PJ would go to all the time. They were fantastic. We would recommend them to every single one of our friends whenever they would come to Colombia. Right now, for the summer, I'm spending it in Medellin, Colombia. And there was this particular business that was spectacular. They always gave us the best time we've ever had in our entire life. We'd gloat to them to everybody and say, if you ever come to Colombia, you have to come here. Today, the service absolutely sucked. And me and PJ said, we never want to go back. And so that's how fast your reputation can get destroyed. When you are we literally put this business on a pedestal. They could do no wrong. The second they sucked, we never want to go back to them again. And we can't trust that if we recommend them to other people, they will get a great experience. So now I can no longer recommend this business. The same way is with your own reputation. And so if I took on other clients because I wanted to make more money, I could easily make a lot more money. PJ, you can attest to this. People were literally trying to throw money at me this weekend to work with
This
them.
is true. I've heard probably every dinner table that Josh and I sat down at, which was, I don't know, 7, 8. There was someone who had a business that is sat next to Josh and says, "Wow, I'm glad I'm sitting next to you because I need help with this particular part of my business." And they don't want to do any of the work, and they're just throwing money at him, pretty much asking for help with that aspect of the business. But you know, and then I also had this discussion with Josh. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. Like, you can really take on so many more clients. But he's like, but you got to understand, if I take on more of these clients, I'm not going to be able to provide the same value that I do right now for the clients that I have. So, so he's weighing out, what's more important, keeping the quality of my work so that I don't get any bad recommendations, or making the few extra $1,000 by taking on new clients. And yeah, it's true. Like, he could definitely take on a lot more clients. I've seen it firsthand, but I'm starting to understand, why, it's not necessarily the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it also comes down to knowing who your avatar for your business is. For my business, I want to work with people who already have over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and have a business doing well over a few $1 million per year. A real business, something that they started way before social media, something that solves a real world problem. And if those qualifications are not met, I try to just scratch even working with those people. And there's a few people that I would work up with and take on as clients. One is Russell Brunson. I've talked about this before. He's my exact type of client that I would want to take on. This guy, he already has a social media presence, but he's kind of a snake oil salesman. He's like a Grant Cardone type, where he does have the jet, he has all the houses, he's super, super rich. He has over 3,000 apartment units, and he has this massive mastermind that hundreds of people are in, paying him $50,000 per year. A lot of you would probably know who it is. And I'm not going to talk about who he is, because that's not important. But knowing who my ideal avatar is, and anyone that does not fit that, I try and disregard it. Sometimes it's tough when someone says, "Hey, I will pay you $10,000 a month." And then it's just like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. And eventually I'd like to train up a team to be able to fulfill those types of orders. Right now, I don't have that capacity. Anyway, I'm getting very, very sidetracked. But the point of that is, I'm trying to methodically scale while maintaining the best reputation humanly possible, to where when I do go to these events, every person wants to work with me. And then you are the commodity. You are the commodity that every person wants to work with. And you can set any terms of the deal when everyone wants to work with you and no one can. That is the value. And so I'm trying not to make the mistakes that the people I hang out with, the very old rich people, said that they made in the past, and they see these young rich influencers making today. So that's the way that I think about it. I could be wrong. I mean, I probably am. I understand that because I have such little business and life experience. I try and look at things in the terms of probabilities, and the probabilities of me fucking up my reputation if I wanted to make an extra $50, $100,000 per month because I take on every dollar that gets thrown at me. I personally just think that will hurt me more over the long run, at least in my current state. I think I need to get a lot better at what I do. That is what I'm trying to focus my time on. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Just be careful when you see people online showing you the dream lifestyle. I mean, that's something that I am very proud of, the lifestyle that I live, and I don't actually spend any money living it. I mean, I spend a lot of money, but not nearly as much as the quality of life that I'm living right now. I get to live that way because all of the friends that I have made and the people that I work with are hyper successful, and they've run real businesses, and they just always cover the bill, which is I'm eternally grateful for. My biggest goal actually is to, and I think about this all the time, is to give George Gammon, who is my first person I started working for. I have his logo tattooed on my leg, or I have his logo, yeah, tattooed on my leg. It was my first job. I got his logo tattooed to get the job, or at least to meet him. And everything has worked out. So my biggest goal is to give him like a $250,000 watch, or just a watch collection of a few $100,000 as a thank you for doing this, because his network is all these people that I now work with, and I'm just eternally grateful every single day for the opportunity that I have